Funny, because when we were standing here with Kevin, he said he had the feeling that in the evening time it was going to be active. And when me and Nick Nitro came down here, I took loads of photographs and I caught the apparition on camera. Got the blue lady. Yeah. But no, yeah, I got a lot of stuff that night actually. Yeah, he was accurate though, wasn't he? Because he said that it was going to be active that night, and it was. It was pretty active. When we had the first ever sighting. Oh, that's nice. That's nice of you, Christine. Do appreciate it. Do appreciate it. Well, you've got to be passionate about something, haven't you? Yeah, it's fun though, isn't it? It's enjoyable. It's a nice day. Yeah, but I think Lee's enjoying it as well, and I think Rachel's enjoying it. Yeah, had a good time.
The only place is back down there again, but we've done that with Kevin. So
yeah. Should we? What about over here?
I know.
In this area.
There was a little seat up there.
Down the steps. The
right.
Bit at the back there.
Yeah, you can do it there if you want to. Yeah, I'm going for that.
That way. This is Margaret.
This is the top.
We could do it here.
Right.
Yeah, what we could do it here. Yeah, because this is active. This area here is pretty active. And this is where Bronwyn took the photograph of the spirit in the purple dress down here.
Oh,
Bronwyn Hockaday, yeah, from this window. So if you from this window, that's where she saw the figure of the spirit down there. Do you know what I'm on about? The one with the purple dress on, sitting on the bottom of the bank, just along here. Yeah.
She's picking flowers or something.
Yeah. There you go. Because it was down here, David, where Bronwyn took that photograph. It was down here. Round to the left, yeah. You ever walk down here? Oh no, there's a lot of graffiti, isn't there?
Right.
I know, it's ridiculous, isn't it?
Okay. Margaret's sister was saint, but she's not. But Saint Margaret, what is called St Margaret's Tower because St Margaret is the patron saint of women in childbirth. And that's where the woman would be put instead to give birth. And then the first thing she wanted to do after giving birth was to rejoin the church. So she was walked along the ramparts, presumably in a white night dress, to go to the chapel in the gatehouse to be reconnected with the church.
That's really interesting. So if we can look at Matilda.
Right.
Matilda, that's an interesting name because that's what Abby Dent picked up on when she was here with Haunted Devon.
Eleanor and
Yeah,
I do
Matilda.
think those are the sisters, and they're a separate story to Margaret.
To Margaret, yeah.
Matilda,
and
yeah.
That's where we've got it confused. We've
Yeah.
kind of made it into one big story.
Yeah.
Because she gave an interview with, had an interview with Bob Mann, and Bob Mann, that they came to the conclusion that it was Matilda.
Yeah.
Matilda, yeah, on the Radio Devon. Yeah,
It's got to be. We can
yeah,
look into it.
Matilda. But people call her Margaret.
If we can get confirmation, that would be good.
Right, so should we,
It's not your everyday name, is it, Matilda?
could do it in front of here, couldn't
Well,
we?
just saying, because one of my experiences is in the window up there.
Yeah, so it'd be better to do it here, wouldn't it?
Let's do it here then.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Just pick your spots, as they say.
Let me just dump my stuff.
I'll just dump over here.
Just dump my stuff down. Are we sitting?
Yeah, that's it.
I never get up again, but I'll do it.
You're very
I'll be over here.
doing it for...
Doing it.
Yeah, thank you. I do appreciate it. I'll be checking the post for you.
Yeah, keep checking.
Yeah, keep checking your mail.
So I know it's a lovely day and we're really enjoying the day, but can you tell us a bit more about your experiences here?
About my experiences in the spooky castle.
Yes.
Okay, well, I first came to Bury Pomeroy in the summer of 1987 when I came down from drama school. My first proper job, as it were, was at the Palace Avenue Theatre in Paignton. And in those days, or ever since I was little, my thing was whenever we go anywhere new, I'd buy the local ghost book. And then I'd get out a map and I would ring all the places mentioned in the book. And when we were on family holidays, I'd say to Mum and Dad, that's where we're going all the time. You know, we're going to visit all these haunted houses and castles whilst we're here. And I did exactly the same thing when I came down to Devon. And I was very excited when I realised that I was living on the doorstep of Bury Pomeroy Castle, one of the most haunted castles in the country, allegedly. So the first chance I had, I got a group of the other actors together, and we went for a trip up to Dartmoor. We walked up Sharpie Tor, which was the first tour I ever walked up, and we then had a meal in the Foxtor Cafe in Princetown, and when it was dark, we came here and we walked down the lane. So the first sight I had was of the gatehouse silhouetted in the moonlight, I'd like to think it was, and then I was hooked. So I used to come here quite regularly, and one of the first experiences I had was with my family, and we were in the range part of the building, and all of a sudden we started to hear gunfire. But it wasn't like modern gunfire, it was like musket fire. It was like sort of firing in volleys, sort of one after the other. And we could all hear it, and I didn't go in. I should have checked if we could hear it from other parts of the castle, but we just stayed where we were and we could hear it all the time we were there. And when I started doing research, history books say that there was never any battles here, no sieges or anything. But at Dornerfield, which is an old farmhouse just outside of Newton Abbot, there is evidence that that was besieged during the Civil War, because they actually had cannonballs embedded in the wall, which they used to have on display inside the porch. So I believe that what we were hearing was a reenactment of that, just travelling on the wind just down the valley, and we could all hear it. And not only that, but I've also heard the same thing at night. So it's obviously something that reoccurs, and Rachel has also heard musket fire today, so it's obviously
It's like a replay, isn't
yeah,
it? It's interesting.
yes, one of the things that does happen here. And the other main thing that I experienced was when we were one of the last groups allowed to come in to do an overnight vigil. Friends of ours had set equipment up, and we were covering sort of quite a lot of the area here. But as we walked down the steps that we're sat in front of, I looked up at the windows here, and in the bottom left-hand corner, there was a light on. And as I looked at it, it sort of was shut off and disappeared, as though someone had closed a door to shut the light out. And obviously we know now that there's no floors here, no doors that would have been active.
And I've not spoken to you before today,
No.
but I saw a candle lit in the front window.
Okay.
Oh, did you?
From that.
Oh, wow.
The last time we came, I did mention the
Oh, you saw a candle light today?
And I've not, no, but when we came at night,
Oh, night time,
I
right.
told Rachel I could see the candlelight in the window. and
Oh,
you could
wow.
see it too.
The same
Yeah.
One of the front windows, was it?
Wow.
So there was a reason.
Which window? Can you remember what window it was?
Right.
Good confirmation.
Yeah.
Excellent.
All I remember is saying to
Yeah, was it the front window, Christine, was it?
It looked like it was coming from another room. It was like a candle.
Oh, right. Oh, wow.
It wasn't there for long.
No.
What?
But it was just like, it was either snuffed out, or it was like someone had shut a door and you
It was
couldn't
like
see the
Yeah.
light.
it just went,
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's weird.
because Stephen
Very good.
Casey's
Not weird.
experienced that as
Yes.
well. He's seen
Well, and it's good
candlelight.
that you decided to be the one to interview me as well,
Yeah.
so we can mention it
Yeah.
at the same
Happens how
time.
it should.
So
Yeah,
very
that's
good.
it. Yeah.
So you also want me to talk about things that I've learned from other people.
Other people, yeah, please
Yeah.
do, David. Yeah,
Okay. Well, we'll do that here.
yeah,
rather than
please
moving.
do. Yeah, thank you.
Well, since '95, I've been running my own paranormal investigation group called TIP,
Yeah.
Torbay Investigators of the Paranormal, and the idea is we have public meetings and people are invited to come and meet us and share their stories. And there's two places that people have always got a story about. It's either Jay's grave up on Dartmoor,
Yeah.
or it's here. And people just come here and they share, all their stories. Sorry, just those flowers there. Look, we're starting to get the pinks and the blues, which are the same colours that are in that dress.
The Hockaday, the Bronwyn Hockaday. Yeah, but I mean, she took those photographs in March, and she said there was no flowers here at that time. She said at the time when she took it back in March, she said there wasn't any flowers there at all. So, but yeah.
I think it's a bit further down the picture was taken. It's odd that the colours are there in this part of the castle.
But I asked her, I said, were there any flowers in the area when you took the photograph? She said, no, there wasn't. She said she took the photograph and from that window.
Sometimes things are just not explainable.
Yeah.
That's what I love.
But it's
paranormal, isn't it? 'Cause you can't find an explanation.
Because someone else said that it could be foxgloves, but there wouldn't be foxgloves in March, would there?
I have no idea.
No.
I really don't.
No, but she said there was.
It's only sort of now that they don't.
Yeah, you notice it. Yeah, it's just.
But it is interesting, the pink and blue.
It's interesting. Yeah.
Anyway, so people come to our meetings and they would share their stories. And there was one lad who came along and he said that during his parents' courting days, they came here and parked up in the car park. Interesting how you were able to come down here at night. And during an intimate moment, all of a sudden, the whole car vibrated as though someone was shaking it. Oh, wow.
That's amazing.
And they couldn't get out of there quick enough. It was that, frenetic, as it were. So they have sort of strong memories of that. And a good friend of ours, Maya, her first experience here, again having no prior knowledge of the place, as she was coming down the driveway, she could see a person wearing white up in one of the higher windows, and her first thought was, what an odd colour to wear to visit a dirty old castle, to be standing there wearing white. And it was only when she obviously got inside that she could see it was a ruin and there was no floors for anyone to stand on. And then she realised that she'd seen the lady in white, that supposedly is a
Margaret Della Pomeray.
But she survived to tell the tale. So yeah, very good. So that's the two main characters you get here, is the woman in white and the woman in blue. And the woman in blue is supposedly searching for a baby that died. Either it was hers or someone else's that she was looking after, but it was either killed deliberately or it died. And one of the stories is that you can hear the sounds of a baby crying coming from amongst the trees. And this woman in blue is in search of this child. Well, interestingly, I met a gentleman the other year who'd come to one of the talks that I was giving up on the moors, and he'd gone out of his way to come all the way from Paignton to visit me up on the moors on the basis of an article I'd put in the local paper. So anyway, he turned up with his family and he wanted to share this story with me about Barry Pomeroy. And he's an electrician by trade, and he was employed one winter. So it was out of season, the place was closed down, but he was working in the toilet block at the bottom of the driveway. And he sort of was coming out at the end of an evening when he'd finished work, putting his tools in his car, and this woman wearing a blue coat came down the lane towards him carrying a baby, not in a rucksack but in her arms. Now this was like in the winter, so the place was closed, no one was sort of, obviously it's a public footpath, but still in winter, carrying a baby was a little bit of a weird thing to do. Yeah, and he said she walked past him and went off down the path. Wow. So it's interesting how you've got a combination of the blue lady with the baby, suggesting that she's now found it and they're reunited.
How long ago was that, David? Can you remember?
Was that... a while ago, I think. I can't remember the date he said, but it was only last year that I met him.
Oh,
but
right.
Interestingly, he also knows my friend Martin, who works at the Princess Theatre.
Okay.
He's the electrician, and backstage manager there. So that's how they knew each other, from their working together as electricians. So yeah,
That's
that was
That's very good.
a bit of a weird one. And then, okay, the night that we came here, when they were filming a Country Files episode, that was quite amusing. The idea of the piece was that Sue Perkins, who was the presenter, was going to spend the night in the castle. And they got in touch with the local Ghostbusters to come along and tell her all the spooky stories to give her a bit of a fright before she bedded down for the night. And so we sort of went to various parts of the castle and I'd tell her the stories. And then Maya was here as well, and she was actually trying to get her to sort of feel the spirit of the place,
Yeah.
which she was, starting to pick up on when the director said, right, enough of that, we want to get on with what we're doing. So we got interrupted. And then at the end of the piece, the idea was that she was going to spend the night here, and she was talking to the camera saying, oh, where's the room with the double bed, the four-poster bed, that's what I've envisaged where I'll be staying the night. And then from off camera, someone just throws a tent.
Yeah.
And so she was camping here. So the final frame of the piece was her with a tent all set up, and she was sat in the doorway, and she just zipped the tent up, supposedly to go to sleep for the night, and that was the punchline to the piece. So that was a bit of fun, and again, it got the name of Tip out there. So
Well, good.
all good.
Yeah, it's good.
Yes.
Everything happens how it should, I believe.
Yeah.
But I'm fascinated that people are picking up the same things, different experiences. And it's interesting that we don't know who they are, though.
No. But again, the history books will tell us one thing, but then folklore tells us
Tells us something completely different. Yeah.
And the idea is that when back in the days when buildings like this were first built, the way to get your building on the map was to big it up by giving it all this sort of folklore and legends.
Oh, well, it will bring people, because there's a mystery.
It raises the status.
Yeah.
Now, the story of the Pomeroy brothers that jumped over the wall on their horses.
I've not heard that one.
No, okay, all right.
You're about to.
Spoilers.
That's new to me, that one.
Right.
Oh, did you? What did you get?
It's a bit
I was standing by the
impractical
wall.
that
I walked up
they
to
would
Lee
do
and
that
I
for
looked down.
various
Oh yeah.
reasons. But
And I said,
out in the
somebody
surrounding
gone over the
area,
wall?
you've got places
Yeah.
like
and he
Denbridge,
says,
like
well,
Old Hillfort,
interesting you should say
which
that.
would have been a lot lower.
And he
with
says,
little
that's
wooden
what he had
walls.
picked
Yeah.
up,
So
that
you can
somebody
quite
had gone
imagine
Oh, I
people
see.
jumping over
the
that.
brothers.
Oh wow.
And I'm
Escape
like,
the building. Or
Wow. That's amazing.
big place like this. So the idea was that legend was known to the people that built this, and they said, "Oh, we'll make it a story that belongs
It all
to the
gets
castle."
intertwined,
Yeah.
doesn't it?
Yeah.
That's what I like. We don't know what is
Yeah.
actual,
Some of it's probably
myth,
sort
is
of
it
a bit.
all- It's like Chinese whispers.
Yeah.
Chinese whispers. It's some of it's probably misinterpreted, misunderstood,
People
probably
change
exaggerated.
Yeah.
And
Change-
then they might have forgot the names, so we just say another one.
Yeah.
We don't know.
We just
Yeah.
don't know. Yeah. Exactly.
But it's, and then when you get a place that is so infamous for that sort of thing, then you obviously going to attract people that want to get
Of course,
involved in
of
that
course.
sort of thing.
Yeah.
And so as soon as anything, the slightest odd little thing happens, oh, it's the ghost, it's supernatural, it's all weird.
Yeah.
It's all
Yeah.
happening in Barry Pomeroy.
Very Pomeroy.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
But when you actually come here, yes, it might be slightly active still, but it's not the big,
It's
massive.
not what
Yeah.
you
It's been blown out of all
People
proportion,
get-
isn't it?
It's
Spirit
very
Yeah.
peaceful,
Up and down
actually.
yeah,
It's quite,
yeah.
quite calming.
Yeah.
But then there's been claims of people clearing it and people moving spirits on, and the Dalbys, and you know, so I mean, people that have cleared it, and this, that, and the other.
People, think they can do that, and
Yeah.
maybe they can. But at the end of the day, you're not cleansing the energy. We were talking about it with
Yeah.
Bob Mann. The idea is stories have always been told about this place, even
Yeah.
before the castle was built. So there's something about the energy of the
It's
land.
the land.
Yeah,
The
the
land.
idea of ley lines and
That's
the water
really
below.
Yeah,
interesting,
yeah.
because last time we were here, I picked up on I kept saying the berries or
The
the berries.
Berries,
There
right?
must have been 4 places with that name. So not
Right.
just Barry Pomeroy, you just said one, Denbury. Right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
And there must
Denbury.
be 2 others.
slightly different spelling.
And I
And,
feel like that was
Lee
that
picked
was
up on the
Ley
Pembury
Lines
family as well, didn't he? Lee did.
Right,
The
he did.
Pembury, yeah.
Ley Lines.
Where's Lee?
And the
Where is
church
he?
would be on the Ley Lines.
Yeah.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
I don't have no idea.
So,
but
All right.
probably.
So fascinating.
Yeah, if we get
That-
Lee
that's
down
what
here, we could do
attracts
some
the-
mediumship,
the
and then we can.
spirits is that energy.
Yeah.
Not the castle. Yeah, the castle was built here because they wanted to build it here. And as I said
Yeah.
before,
Yeah. It's,
you can only see it across the valley from Dartington.
Dartington Hall. Yeah,
And
it's the only
so
place you can
it's-
see it
I've
from.
never been there either.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm terrible, and
But
I've
it-
never
it-
been to Jay's grave. I've
Never been to Jay's
I've
grave?
only been to those places.
Okay.
Oh, you need to go. You need to go to Jay's grave.
And that's
Yeah.
not because I don't want to. It's
No.
just because it's not happened. You know,
It's not happened, but I'm sure it will do. I'm sure it will do.
Well, that's like
Yeah.
you said, you're not out to find them.
I
It's just
like
you,
to go
you
and
do find them.
be in places that have history because it is history.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there were people that lived here and loved it, you know, and there probably were people that hated it as well. But
Well, yeah.
you
I mean,
you
it's
come
just.
along
yeah.
to see what remains,
Yeah.
you know, to observe it,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah.
I mean, none of the spirits are stuck either because they're on visitations anyway. So I've been told that by quite a few people.
Well, and the idea of ley lines is
Yeah.
it's like the spirit world's equivalent of a railway line.
Yeah.
They can travel along it, they can come and go.
It's
They
a-
Come and
can-
go
it's a free-
as they
it's a
please,
free
yeah,
entry
yeah.
point, isn't it?
Yeah, they've got free will, haven't they?
and if they pick up on people like yourself
Mm.
who've got the ability to hear them, then
Might have
then
no
they'll
words.
think, oh, she's there
But
today.
it's
We'll
very,
go and
it's very
visit her.
brief as well, and
Right.
it really is like a few words and they're off.
I've just,
Yeah.
yeah,
And then you might
yeah.
pick up on
I've only just seen the
someone
one
else,
spirit
you
here.
know.
That was
It's
3
not
years
like
ago,
we-
but
it's not like now. Like
yeah.
we're sitting here now.
yeah.
It really is. You better be quick and catch it because it's gone.
It
before
doesn't
you
it,
know
it doesn't stay around for very long.
No.
And if you're not receptive, if you're not sort of tuned into it, you won't experience nothing at all. But I think over the years I've developed a lot more, and I've got more in tune to it, and that's probably why I've had a lot more experiences here
But
over the last 3 years. So
that's also why when you get like a medium that's doing a platform at a theatre or a church,
yeah,
when as soon as the idea goes out there, that's going to happen. All the loved ones start to tune in, and we've often had
definitely.
visitors
Yeah.
to the theatre, and they'll say, well, I've had this spirit with me in my car all day. They're desperate to speak to
That's
so
right,
and so,
yeah.
and they'll just latch on and they'll come with you wherever.
So obviously
Exactly.
myself and Lee, I mean, we do a lot. What we did, we've stopped, haven't we? We did a whole circuit all the time, you know, every night of the week. It was just crazy. And there does come a point where you have to say, as much as I love
Yeah.
spirit, and I know I am spirit, and I know that. I'm not going to die and become it. I'm already in. You know, so that's my belief. So we're all spirit, and if that's true, then of course we can connect.
Yeah, of course we can. Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Because you can't destroy energy, so even when someone dies, that energy from that person.
Exactly.
Mm.
I'm going to skip it.
And you're still the same as you were.
because it's
Yeah.
in my bag.
But you're still the same person as you were when you were actually in a physical body, but you're just in a spirit body, aren't you?
You can still represent yourself
Yeah.
in those
I wonder what the
personality
reality's
traits,
like,
but I
though.
do think that
Yeah,
you
what's
can't-
your theories on the reality? So when your spirit leaves your body, do you still feel the same person as you was, or do you feel a lot lighter, or?
A whole different video.
I can't
Yeah.
explain. This is a
Yeah.
whole new video,
But
Matt. Do you know what I would
it's-
say? Imagine
Yeah.
omnipresence, where
Yes.
you are everywhere all at once.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
you're
right.
really getting close.
But the,
I mean, when
the
you-
idea.
You can give messages from people who just literally pass over and they're with all their family, and all the family are getting signs at the same time.
Yeah.
The human concept is we're in a body that can travel at a distance,
Mm.
but the reality is, as a spirit, you can travel at any distance, any
Spirits often
time.
find. You
This
see,
is-
we keep thinking.
And it's all
we're
done
just
by the
find
default,
them.
isn't it? If they want to be at a place at a certain time, it's all
We
done
are
by default.
anchored- We are anchored to the earth. Because
Yeah.
We're in a physical body. You know, if we weren't in a physical body, we wouldn't be anchored to the
We
earth.
wouldn't be able
So
to
where
anchor to
would
the
we
earth.
be?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, it would be everywhere. And this is what we need to realise. It's not.
I mean, I get signs at home, you know, and I do believe that it's my dad. I mean, the TV switches itself on, and that's not me sitting on the
And then
remote.
That's in your heart.
Yeah,
So you're already creating that energy.
yeah, I believe
There's the
so.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
So you've set the intention.
yeah. I
I,
do.
I like to see it that we're all like spiders at the centre of our own web.
Yeah.
Get a book a minute.
Get the
Oh,
Whatever
dear.
that book's about.
Yeah.
It's
Like
actually
spider
it's called
web.
The
Spider
Nature of Everything.
Right.
I'm going to give you it. Just read it and throw it back to Matt or whatever at any
All right.
point.
Okay.
I'll have a look,
It's
yeah.
about 7 grids. 7
Right.
grids, I'm calling them.
That's Christine's
which
book
do
that
look
she-
like a spider web. You know,
7 or 8?
I've got 7 on
You've
that.
got 7. Because interestingly, today I've started listening to one of my Doctor Who audios called
I love Doctor Who.
the